What is up, folks? This is Ericast, and welcome back to TolkienCraft II. Alright, so we're going to do a little more Thaumcraft today. I'd like to mix it up a little bit, and either this episode or next get in some exploring, because there's some really big towers and things around here that I haven't yet explored, and I've been wanting to. So I will do that pretty soon, but I would like to go ahead and start setting up my nodes. So I've got this little ring over here that I'm going to set up with probably the node that I want to be my main node in the middle, and then I'll have the ones I'm draining from on the outside. What I'm probably going to do, I've pretty much decided that it is what I'm going to do, but I'm going to set up a primary node and then put the node stabilizers under all of the nodes to start off with, but have certain ones draining to others. That way I don't lose a lot in the exchange. Like, for example, if I had the center one, I'm actually not really sure how I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to think about it a little bit. I think that the advanced node stabilizer will probably make it a higher priority than just the normal node stabilizers. That's what I'm hoping anyway. If not, then, well, we may have a problem. But, I don't know. I can finagle something. But I'm going to put, say, the primary node in the middle, and then have, say, a ring of nodes around the other ones, or around the middle. Have the node stabilizers. That way they're not feeding into each other. And then have, disable one node stabilizer at a time. And that way it only feeds to this one instead of feeding to this one and losing V storage. And then that one feeds to this one. So I'm hoping in that way I can get the most V to the main node instead of having it, dissipate around the ring and then finally move inward. Another option is that if that doesn't work, and it actually might be a better option, is that I disable all of the ring, and hopefully they will only go to the node stabilizer, because I know that makes it a higher priority. But I'm not sure. I'm a little worried about it, but I'll figure something out. And if I have to move them again, then I have to move them again. So, yeah, that'll be an ordeal, but it'll be okay. Because I went ahead and dipped into blood magic just enough to get teleposers, and I've got a little bit of, what's it called? I actually can't remember at the moment, but was it essence? Oh, I could just look at the screen and see what it says. So yeah, it's life essence, and it says stores raw life essence. Okay, yeah, so derp. Oh gosh, just ignore that, please. All right, so lots of derps lately, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to get that going. So let's go ahead and make one of the node stabilizers just to kick us off here. Alright, so we can actually make it in the crafting table, which is definitely a blessing, because anytime that we have to use this, it's still at the hassle stage. Now later on it doesn't get quite as bad because we have all of our system hooked up to where, it's easy to pipe in exactly what you need. But right now it's still in a bit of a painful stage. So that's pretty nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and make a node stabilizer. And then I'll show you what it does, because I've got a couple nodes on jars. Don't think any of them are going to be primaries, because they're, not that great. I mean, they're good. They're really good, but they're not great. So let's take a look. Alright, so we need gold, we need a piston, a couple quartz, a couple arcane stone bricks, which I might have some of. I know I have arcane stone, so I can definitely make the bricks. some nitor, which I don't know that I do have, and a piston. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab the easiest part first, and the gold. Let's see if we have any nitor. Oh, we have one. Awesome. Well, that's all we need at the moment. Alright, so we need arcane. Nope, no bricks, but we can make some. Not a problem. Alright, go like that. Oh, actually we need two. Okay. We need, what else? 2 quartz and a piston, so that's not bad. Alright, so quartz, I don't think I have any blocks, so oh, come on. There we go. 1, 2. And do I have any pistons in here? It's possible. Yeah, didn't really think it was likely, but and start. And ta-da. And a piston. Alright, so I don't think... Do I have my reed one in here? No. I don't have enough on this one. Yeah, I don't have enough ordo for sure. So I'm going to have to charge this up a little bit on the local nodes. Thankfully, I do have some ordo around here. So that shouldn't be that much of a problem. So put it like that, and the gold on top. Alright, so we also need to switch over here. Now, I went ahead and made a stand for this, so make it really easy to switch back and forth. Alright, so if I can remember, was it shift right click? It should switch it out each piece. Alright, and I think, is it clicking on the stand? Okay, well there's a way to switch all of it, but I just don't remember what it is. I'll have to look at that. Alright, but I'll be back in just a second when I've got my wand charged up. Alright, so be back in a minute. Alrighty folks, so we just got back, and yeah. If you're reading the chat in the left hand corner, it looks like Wild is having some problems with normal cells turning into creative cells. And then they're not working, so because I guess he's not an op, and well, I mean, I know he's not an op, but I guess when you are an op and you play, or how do you say that? Okay, so if you're not an op and you try to place a cell that is, you know, is an op only thing, then there might be problems there. So they're just trying to work that out. So the problem comes from having a repair item from artifacts in your, you know, inventory or on your person in general. And it tries to repair something that has a damage value that isn't actually damaged. You know, so the damage value is the amount of power that the cell holds. So, yeah, that's a big mess. Apparently... Order said that artifacts, the mod makers say it isn't their problem. You know, it's not their fault. And the thermal expansion guys are saying it's not us either, it's their fault. So that seems pretty typical. But yeah, so they're trying to work that out. Alright, so back to what we were doing. So let's go ahead and throw this in there. And we have a good discount on everything this time, since we have the thaumium caps and not the copper ones. But yeah, so let's go ahead and make this guy, and we will put them down. Alright, so since, what's in this bag, I think? Should be in this bag. Apparently not. Maybe it's in a chest up here. I don't think it's in my inventory. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and do this one, just because I can probably get a little bit more from it, as far as charging my own wand. Just because it has, this one has Herba and Victus, which I can't charge from quite yet. And there's a way to do that, but, and also it's a pure node, so I kind of want to use that for something else. So, yeah, well, sure. Alright, so let's go ahead and just use this one, because seems the better choice at the moment. Alright, and actually there's my other armor that was enchanted that I've lost. Or didn't lost, but lost track of. Alright, so let's go ahead and just put this one down here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and stick that down like that. And put you on top. And then I'll need my blonde. Okay. Vals is an op, so she's going to go over and take care of it. Basically just take the creative ones and give them hardened ones back. Alright, so and then we just go ahead and give it a tap. And then you have that really cool graphic. Alright, so the node is stabilized now and is going to go ahead and hopefully turn from a pure node or turn from a fading node into a normal node. And it actually looks like it already is stabilized because it doesn't say anything about being fading. Where is my... I don't see it. Must be in here. Yep, there it is. See if that gives it... Oh, pale. Okay, so it's pale and not fading. I guess it goes fading, pale, normal, bright. I think that's right. Alright, so that is what all that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a few more of these and get the transfer started. That way we can work on getting a major node. And we'll show that off in a little bit, but I need to get some work done before that happens. Alright, so I will be back in a little bit. Alrighty folks, so we're back over here, and it's actually been probably at least a day, probably two, since the last time I was on. As you can see, there's nobody on but me. Somebody was on a few minutes ago, but it looks like they logged off. So as you can see here, we have the transfer that I was talking about, but interesting thing to note is that neither of them can be in a stabilizer for them to transfer. So like this one would not transfer to this one, even though this one is not under a stabilizer. That wasn't the way I understood it, but apparently that's the way it's set up. So, and it looks like we should have the instrumentum probably disappear here pretty soon. And even the burrito is pretty low. It's only on 2. It was on like 40 something. But we've had them transfer over to here. And now we have 6 of instrumentum and 9 of the burrito. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm just going to go around here and hopefully build up this node to a point where it is both extremely large and has all sorts of different aspects in it. So that'll be pretty awesome. One thing I am a little bit worried about is that I need to use smaller nodes. So I'll probably transfer this one into the main node before I do, say, oh, this one's a smaller one. I mean, it has a ton of different stuff in it. But I'm worried about these that have like 99 or over 100 not transferring very well. So like, you know, having them transfer from this node to this node instead, which is something that I really don't want to have happen. But I was waiting for a little shock to go between the two, but it might be just low enough that it's not going to do it right now. I say it was zapping like crazy a second ago. Oh, there we go. There's one of them. So it's transferring from the left to the right. It doesn't happen with every single zap, but it's showing that they're interacting. So that's pretty awesome. Alright, so I have started setting up a system. I put in some elevators here. I cleared out this area down here, and actually I didn't realize that... Oh no, they're the same direction. Okay. I was thinking that one of them was going this way instead of going that way. But yeah. I've started setting up a system to process ores from a quarry, but I haven't quite got it done yet just because I keep running out of iron. Iron and diamond, I keep running out of those two, and I have tons of everything else. So that'll be nice to have the quarry set up. But one thing I'm going to do in this episode instead is set up the processing for all of my Oreberry bushes, because that's a really good way to get just straight ore and not have to worry about, you know, any of the other stuff. So I'm going to go mine up some iron, and then we're going to get onto that. All right. So I will be back in a little bit. Okie dokie, folks. So let's go ahead and set this up a little bit. I think I have everything I need to set up about half of it. The problem being that I still don't have quite enough iron um, to make enough of these guys, the autonomous activators. So I'll probably show you guys exactly what's going on here, and then we will go from there. Alright, so I went ahead and put down this chest, and this is the chest that I have my quarry going to, and this bag over here as well, that I've just been dumping anything in while I'm out and about, so that it goes into my AE system. The thing is with that, I'm just thinking exactly how I want to do it because I don't want to overwhelm this thing. So, but I have the quarry running. I'm going to run it nonstop for a while just so I can get everything that I need to put into these guys. But yeah, that's kind of how that's going at the moment. I just don't want to overwhelm my... Well, you know what? I don't have that one fully maxed out on channels, the one that's connecting to this chest that's up there, that's extracting and going into the A system. So I could just add another side if it starts having issues, because I think I have that one set up to where it's got the accelerators on it, so it sucks them, you know, all the items out extra fast, but at the same time, again, I don't want to overwhelm it, so... Alright, so we're not going to use the flux cables at the moment. And actually we're not going to use them on this at all since the cables are hooked up to this chest that we've been talking about that's up there. So let's go ahead and start placing down some of these. So what we're going to want is them to be just like so. And actually it'd probably be smart to put the translocators, is that what they're called? Relocators, down first. Just because, as you'll see over here, that one's not grown. This one is. It's just going to pop it out, and it's just going to go who knows where. So let's go ahead and put these guys down first. So let's go ahead and do like this. And thankfully they'll hook up just fine. And they'll hopefully go into that inventory. Now, I haven't used the relocators all that much, but they seem to work kind of like the thermal expansion pipes used to. Again, we don't have that one on the server at the moment because it's not been released yet. So hopefully that's going to happen here pretty soon. But yeah, so let's go ahead and we can actually test that out, see if it goes in the right place. No, it did not. So I might have to mess with this a little bit. Ow. Hit my elbow on the desk. Alright, so... blue should be input, I think. We can try it on this one over here. Actually, it's not gonna... You know, I'm actually not quite sure exactly how this is gonna work because... If we select it to blue... Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera here for a minute and go ahead and try to mess around with it a little bit. That way we can get it working correctly. I'm going to go into creative world, so alright. So I will be back in just a minute. Alrighty folks, so quick update on this. I've been messing around with this a little bit. What I've decided to do is go with vacuum hoppers and BuildCraft pipes. But the problem with BuildCraft pipes is apparently they're having update issues, and they actually need you to put them through a block update before they'll, you know, deal with any changes that you've made to the thermal expansion stuff. So, and actually that includes the open blocks as well, so I think it's just an issue with BuildCraft pipes at the moment, period. Now, since I'm using these stone ones, okay, that's a problem that I'm going to need to fix. But yeah, since I'm going to have to put some iron ones in here as well, just to make sure they're going in the right direction. When it comes to the connections with the vacuum hoppers, because if they go down here, then that's going to be a bit of a problem. But That's fine. That's not going to be that hard to fix. But yeah, these stone pipes are extremely slow, as you can see here. I mean, they're creeping along. And they've actually, it looks like got a vacuum hopper in there. Um, but yeah, so they're going to be pretty slow, but that's not really a problem when it comes to this stuff. Um, I'm wanting the, you know, over time kind of thing when it comes to Oreberry bushes. I mean, they're not going to be fast, you know, pretty much no matter what you do. I've even got a watering can here, and even then they're, you know, not all that fast, but yeah. So it's not about speed with these things, it's about, you know, the end result. What are you doing? This one worked just fine. What are you? I don't even know. Yeah, see, that's going just fine. That went fine. Hmm. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. I might have to move these down underneath these guys, because the issue is that this is not actually a full block. I wonder if it's going to show. No. This is one step below a full block, even though it doesn't show it as being that. So it's kind of acting like snow is, and that it'll show, you know, something different than it actually is. But I think it's getting hung up on the edge here, so I'll probably move all these down, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after that. Alright, so I will be back in a minute. Alrighty folks, so this is what I've ended up coming up with, and it seems to work pretty well. But I've got the autonomous activators down below, like I mentioned I probably would. And then I've got these guys over here. Now, you can make this a lot more compact. I've got these blocks here that are pretty much, I mean, there's no reason to have them there. So far as I know, I haven't run into any problems yet, at least. So, the other thing that you might do is maybe have the pipes sitting on the ceiling instead. So have them above instead of below. And actually, you know, now that I think about it, actually this is going to look completely different. um, and I'm just sitting there running through different schemes in my head about exactly how I want to do this. So this is going to look completely different when I come back, but I wanted to show you a progress update of exactly what I'm doing. So, and actually I'm kind of glad that I did this, because this scheme, you know, this setup, it works. And it actually works quite well, but I've decided on something that's going to be a little bit different, and I think it's going to be a whole lot better. So, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I will show you in a last clip at the end of the episode, as this is going to be pretty close. I'm going to show you exactly what I've done with this, and I'll show you how I have this set up. It's going to be very similar to what I had in my single player, but yeah. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Alright, so I'll be back in a minute and we'll show you exactly how this area is going to be set up. And yeah, so see you in a minute. Alrighty folks, so I've pretty much got this all done for now. I do want to come out here and show you the progress I've gotten on my nodes so far. As you can see, most of them are gone. I've only got one left. But I haven't done all of my nodes just yet, so I actually have quite a few left that I want to switch over. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Alright, so we've got 9 Herba, 5 Aqua, 14 Ignis, 15 Terra, 6 Instrumentum, 21 Perdido, 43 Air, and 59 Ordo. And the happiest thing, or the thing I'm happiest about all of this, is that I remembered the name of each of the aspects. So, actually, this is starting to shape up into a pretty good node, so I'm pretty happy about that. The reason that I'm using, or I started off with this node, it wasn't that awesome in itself, at first glance anyway, because it was like 43 air, you know, I don't know, if 46, I think, something like that, Ordo. So it wasn't that great, but it's also a bright node, so it's going to recharge its aspects a lot faster than the other ones will. Now, once we start using the node stabilizers, that's going to clamp down on that a bit, but it's still going to be faster than if I use, just a normal node, or, a fading or whatnot. So, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Alright, so let's go up here, and looks like I'm still putting in a lot of power. We've got 8.667 billion. Okay. That's not bad. It's not great. Not like we were doing on the single player, but I'm not too worried about it, honestly. It's not something that I'm using a lot of at the moment, a lot of power. So, yeah. I don't have any speed upgrades on my quarry, so it's not that big of a deal. It actually looks like I don't have that much coming in, so I need to go ahead and look through the ores on this thing, because I haven't put all of them in yet. Basically, I was just waiting for everything to process, so it's easier to tell what ores I need to put in there and what ores I don't. So, we're doing pretty good on this. I've got these guys upgraded. We've got the secondary sieve on these, and the standard one reception coil. This speeds up the speed of the pulverizer, but doesn't do it a whole lot. I could take some of these out, maybe. I'll have to look into that. Because I think I can get 2 speed upgrades in here without really messing with the mechanics of the thing. And these I've got 3 speed upgrades, so they're nice and fast. And I need to start putting, I need to have this come back into the system. And these guys I think actually go to this, because they've been turning into the dust, which I don't want the Certus quartz, or the charged Certus quartz, to turn into dust. The normal Certus quartz is fine because I'm just gonna, duplicate it anyway, so I'm not too worried about that one. But yeah, I've got a little ways to go on this, but it's pretty much set up like we had it in our last base, so it's feeling pretty good. Now these guys over here, I have set up like I want them as well. And I need to make some more autonomous activators before I can put down all of my Oreberry bushes. But in itself, this is doing pretty well. Now, I need to block this area off and decrease the light level, because you can tell some of these are having an issue with the light. So, yeah, that's something you need to keep in mind when you're using Oreberry bushes. But they're actually putting out a good amount of stuff, too. Now, they'll do these vacuum hoppers will do 3 blocks at a diagonal. So even if, it's not going to do it if it's way the heck over here, but if it's right there, well, you guys got to see one of the problems of having some of them small and some of them not. But yeah, it'll actually get sucked up if it's from over there. You guys saw that it was getting pulled towards it. It's just getting stuck on the larger ones. And as soon as these grow up, that won't be a problem anymore. But yeah, so you can actually make this, you only need 3, and you can make, 6 rows. Easy. So, actually you can make 7 rows. So, that's pretty awesome. But, yeah, that should help out our ore processing quite a bit to have both these Oreberry bushes and a quarry going, even though we don't have these speed upgrades on the quarry. I didn't put the speed upgrades on there because I'm a little worried about power at the moment. I don't have all that much power gen. Like, I don't even have one of the tier 3 lava generators. I have what's equal to one of the tier 3 solar generators, but that only works for half a day. And all I've got is this tier 2 survivalist generator working on some coal coke that I just happened to hook up. So my power generation isn't that great. It's good enough for what we've got, but I don't want to push it too far. Otherwise, we're really going to start draining our power storage. And I would like to keep that on the positive as opposed to, having it low all the time. So I'd rather just not have to worry about the fact that I'm running out of power all the time. So that's something I'm going to be considering upgrading here pretty soon, or at least, getting it more compact, because, this is taking up a lot of room that it doesn't necessarily need to be. So, yeah. Alrighty, so that's actually going to be it for this episode. And as far as next episode goes, we'll just have to see where it takes us. I'll probably work a little bit on ThoughtCraft, but there's a few more things that I would like to get started on. And I'll just keep that a secret for now so you guys will find out later. Alright, so until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day.